Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Faith. I'm a registered nurse, and on this channel I talk about general leveling up, especially for nurses who want to relocate from their countries to go and work as nurses in the US. This is the channel for you. So if that will interest you, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, because that's what this channel is all about. So today guys, I'm going to do a part 2 video of the video that I did previously. You'll see it up here about the steps that you need to know you'll go through before you become a registered nurse in the US, and it is up here. And now I'm going to talk about the money side of things. Yes, there are these steps, you've known the steps, but there are people who tell me, I can do these things on my own, but I don't know how much it will cost me to go through all the processes. So that's what we want to tackle today. And after all that, you will see if really you can do this on your own without an agency. So let's get right into it. So guys, before I go through all the finances that you may need to have before you start this process, or you may need to have for you to complete this process, I just want to tell you guys that I've picked out the major steps that you will require to go through before you become a registered nurse in the US. And I haven't included the little things that you might do in between. Remember, as you start this process, life doesn't stop. Life continues. So you have your life, and you have to cater to these processes that you need to go through before you become a registered nurse in the US. So just take note of that. Just know that your life will still go on. You'll still need transportation to wherever you want to go. You'll still need to eat. You'll still need all those things. But I'm going to majorly go through the major steps that you want to go through before you become a registered nurse in the US. So that's what we are going to talk about today. The first step that you'll go through is the Cgfns. Now, you know that if you've been following me, you have to get your licenses and your documents verified. So that's the first step, you have to go through it. So for you to have a Cgfns profile, you need to pay at least 36.5 US dollars. That's around at least 36,500 Kenyan shillings, or approximately 37,000 Kenyan shillings. So if you are in another country that is not Kenya, you can convert the US dollars according to your currency in your country. So you need at least 36.5 US dollars for Cgfns for you to open your profile on Cgfns, and for you to be able to download all those forms that you to send to your school and to your board of nursing in your country. So that is something you should consider. You'll need at least 36.5 US dollars for that. And then for your nursing transcripts from your school, that will depend on your school. Some principals may need a fee up front before they make another transcript for you. So that will depend on your school, and you have to ask your school about that. And also remember that it will include courier charges, because your school has to send the transcript to Cgfns. So just make sure you know that, and you know that there'll be a fee applicable there. And then for your nursing licenses and your certificate from the board of nursing where you are practicing in your country, there'll also be a fee. Like for instance, in Kenya is 12,000 shillings. So that is approximately 120 US dollars. So just make sure you know that. And if you, like for Kenya, if you have several certificates or diploma and degree, or just several certificates that you have gotten with your nursing council, you'll have to pay for each certificate. You'll not pay just 12,000. 12,000 is for one certificate. So just take note of that. Then the next step is for you to apply to the Board of Nursing that you are going to register your NCLEX with. That will depend on the Board of Nursing that you choose. Remember, in the previous video I told you there are so many Board of Nursings in the US. There are different Board of Nursings for different states. But in my case, I'll talk about the Texas Board of Nursing. So for you to open your profile or an account with Texas Board of Nursing and do the jurisprudence test, the NCLEX through them, you have to pay $100. That's around 10,000 Kenyan shillings. I don't know about other Board of Nursing, but if you opt to go to Texas Board of Nursing, that's what you'll pay for you to have an account with them. The next step is the NCLEX review. Now this will entirely depend on you. The reason why I say that is because there are NCLEX materials out there, but you might want to invest in a question bank, a Q bank, that will help you to know exactly what the NCLEX looks like and you to practice questions NCLEX style. So that will definitely depend on you. It will depend on if you decide to purchase a textbook for your content, if you decide to subscribe for a Q bank for your content. So I have gone through several Q banks, and I'll give you an example. Like UWorld Q bank, you can get it for $49. That's like 4,900 Kenyan shillings. $49 for a month or $99 for 3 months. So just take note of that. That's like 9,000 plus. And remember guys, they keep changing. There might be a season where the prices will go down or they go up. So this is not a constant figure when it comes to this Q bank. This is just a figure that I've quoted that is recently on their site. There's Archer that is $79 for 60 days, $99 for 90 days. There is Kaplan that is $399 for 6 months. So you will see which Q bank you will decide to go with, and with the one that will suit your NCLEX preparation style. Another step that you'll have to go through is now the registration for your NCLEX. Now, to schedule your NCLEX exam so that you can get an authority to test, which is the ATT, you'll need to pay $200. That's like 20,000 Kenyan shillings. So just take note of that. After you've gotten your authorization to test, you'll have to now schedule a date. To schedule a date that you will sit for your exam. And there is a fee for scheduling for your exam. That is $150, around 15,000 Kenyan shillings. So it will depend on how it will convert the US dollars into your currency. So just take note of that. There is the fee to generate the authority to test and the fee to schedule your exam. So which will be $200 and then $150. Now after you've gotten your authority to test and you've scheduled your exam, now the trip to the country that you'll sit your exam at. So this depends on where you are and where you'll prefer to take your exam at. Now, if you are in Africa, there are only 2 centers right now. The first one is the South African Center and the second one is the India. So, I'll talk about South Africa because that's where I went. Now, visitors' visa to South Africa varies per country. So it will depend on where you are. According to their site, it's approximately $90 for India and approximately 29 to 86 US dollars for South Africa. So just take note of that. So For my case, I paid at least 9,000 Kenyan shillings. Now, after all that, money for your flights. Now, if you are doing this with an agency, most of the agencies will pay for your flight. But if you are catering for your flight on your own, you'll need to consider the money to pay for your flight to and fro from where you are going, where you'll sit you exactly. So flights, example, from Nairobi to Johannesburg, it's around 65,000 to 70,000 Kenyan shillings. That's around 650 US dollars to 700 US dollars. So just take note of that. And remember, when you are going to where you are going to sit for the exam, there is accommodation. If you are doing it on your own, you need to know where you'll stay. If it's a hotel, there is a hotel accommodation. You have to eat, so you have to cater for your food. Most of the agencies, even if they are paying for your accommodation, they'll probably not pay all the meals, so you have to take note of that. You have to take note that you'll move around, wherever you are staying to the NCLEX center, so you have to put some taxi or Uber fee into consideration. And at this point, you may need a COVID test, so just put that in mind as you are thinking about your travel to wherever you are going to sit for your exam at. Now, another step is the IELTS. Now, after you've done your NCLEX, it's now time to sit for your English exam if you hadn't done the IELTS yet. So, if you decide to look for a tutor to help you with the IELTS examination, the average cost I've seen in my country is 100 US dollars, which is around 10,000 Kenyan shillings. So if you can do it on your own, that's fine. You'll save some money in that way. And then now the IELTS exam, currently it is 270 US dollars. That's 27,000 Kenyan shillings. So remember that as you are preparing to start this journey. It's part of the money that you'll have to have. And most agencies don't pay for your IELTS. So just remember that as you are doing. Now, after you've done your IELTS and you've passed and you've achieved the required bands that is required for your visa screening, now the next step to get your visa screening certificate. And for you to get that, you have to pay a certain amount of money for them to process your visa screening certificate. This certificate is also generated by the Cgfns. So you have to pay Cgfns a certain amount of fee for them to generate for you your visa screening certificate. So this certificate, I'll just read for you. It confirms that you meet the minimum eligibility standards related to licensure, education, and English proficiency. So you've done your IELTS, you have now your English. Your English is there, you've passed your NCLEX, your licensure requirements. Yeah, you've met all those. For you to get your certificate, you need to pay 540 US dollars. That's around 54,000 Kenyan shillings. Just remember that. And if you are with an agency, most of the agencies are catering for that. So put that in your mind as you are doing your visa screening. And at this point, most of you will have your agency and they will tackle this for you. So unless you want to get a direct hire, maybe you might require for you to pay these things on your own. Now, after you've gotten your visa screening certificate, there is the grant fee that is paid to the Nation Visa Center in the US. So it is like fee to petition for your green card. So even when you look at their site, it's called, the money they said the money is paid to the Nation Visa Center to finalize the processing of your green card petition. So this fee is 345 US dollars, which is like 34,500 Kenyan shillings. per person. So if you are having a family, you might take that into consideration. You'll have to pay for your family. Per head, you'll have to pay $345 US. So just take note of that. Now, another fee will come when you're going to your exit interview. And this will come when you're doing your medicals. Now, when you go to your medicals, they say that you need at least 150 to 250 US for your medicals. So just take note of that. The fee that I've just crossed, I never knew this existed. I wasn't even planning for it, but apparently it does. It is called the USCIS immigrant. This fee is required for individuals migrating to the United States as lawful permanent residents. It is used by the USCIS to process, produce, and deliver permanent residents with green card. So basically, you are paying for your green card production. That's how I understand it. Now, this fee is 220 US, which is around 22,000 Kenyan shillings. And that is per person. So if you have a family, just consider that in mind. Also, the medicals are per person. So if you have a family, put that in your mind. So yeah, and the USCIS immigrant fee is supposed to be paid before you leave your country. That's how they advise on their site. So having gone through all that, I want to give you a total I came up with. Now, an approximation that I made that you might need for this process up to this point, if you are doing it on your own, is 3,550 US. So convert that in your currency. And remember, guys, those are just the main processes that you are going to need to go through for you to become a US citizen, a US registered nurse. I haven't gone through the little steps that are in between. So 3,550 US, that's around 350 Kenyan shillings if you are in Kenya. Remember this, within this money that I've told you, remember there is vaccination for you and your family. It is not included in this process that I've told you, so you might need money for that. Some vaccines are expensive, and I don't necessarily know their price, but I know some of them are expensive because they are not on our routine immunization in our countries. So just take note of that. You'll need money for that. You'll need money for all the police clearance certificates for everyone above 18 years who you are going with. So just take note of that. You'll need money for that. You'll need money to process your birth certificates if they are not in order. So remember that. You'll need money to process your marriage certificate if you are not married yet and you are planning to get married before you go to the US. So just take note of that. You'll need money for a lot of traveling. You may need money to travel to get your vaccination, to go get your titers, your COVID test, anything that you will need to get out of your house to go process it. You'll need money for that. So just take note of that. You will need money for courier fees. There are so many documents that you'll be exchanging between you and wherever body that you are going to work with. So you'll need courier charges for that, and it's not cheap to send documents from your country to the US. So just put that in the back of your head that you'll need it. Now, if you are going to send your documents online and you need some help maybe from a cyber cafe, you'll need money for that. So just take note of that. Now, you'll need to remember that before you relocate from your country, you'll need to have a certain amount of money with you. You just can't go to a new country without having at least something in your pocket. So just remember that you'll also need that. There are people who want to do this stuff on their own. There are people who are using agencies. If you are lucky enough to have an agent right now, and especially earlier on in the process, they will take care of most of the things that require a lot of money. Like your Cgfns account opening, they will pay for you. Some agencies, I'm not talking about every agency, but most of the agencies will do that for you. Like Board of Nursing, they will pay for it. Like some may even pay for your question banks for your NCLEX preparation. Some agencies will pay for your NCLEX. They'll pay for scheduling your exam and getting the ATT. They'll pay for the real scheduling of the date that you'll sit for. They'll pay for it. Some of them will also pay for your trip to wherever you're going to take the NCLEX from. They also will pay for your accommodation. IELTS is not normally paid by many agencies, so that one I know you'll have to cater for it. Most of the agencies will pay for your visa screening certificate. And I'm very sure after you've done your NCLEX and your IELTS, at least all of us will be looking for a medium to help us get a job in the US. And that is mostly the agency. So most of the time they'll pay for your visa screening certificate. The immigrant fee, most of the agencies will pay for it. The medicals, you'll have to pay for them on your own. The USCIS immigrant fee, that one I'm sure you'll pay for your own. So just take note of that. If you can get an agency right now and you're not in a good financial position, it will save you a lot of headache. And at the end of the day, you are going to pay them while you work there for the time that you'll sign a contract with them. If you're going to do this thing on your own, just make sure you research before you go take a very big loan or a little amount of money from the bank, or you underrate the process or you overrate. Make sure you've done your research and you know exactly how much you might need for this process. So I hope I've tried to give you at least a glimpse of how much you might need to do this process, either doing it by your own or doing it with your agent. And it is good to know these things, because even if you are doing it with your agents, you have to really know what you are getting into. Are you going to get value for your money, or people will pay for you a little fee and then go exploit you and get more, much more from you? So it's good to know. It's good to know if you can cut these costs by doing it on your own, because I know there are people who have the financial capability of pushing themselves up to a certain point before someone else picks from there. So just take note of that. So guys, that is it for today, and I'm really thankful to you guys. We are now 310 subscribers, and I thank you for that. Please, if you are looking at this video and you know it will benefit someone, I don't mind you sharing it. It will really help this channel grow, and it will help YouTube to keep pushing it out to other people. And don't forget guys to like this video if you found it helpful. Share it with your friends. Comment in the comment section anything that I've left out. I know some of you are at to some extent I've gone through the process and they are somewhere and they are following me. If I have left something out, you can write it down in the comment box so that people keep learning and people know exactly what they are getting into. So otherwise, guys, thank you so much for coming by. Thank you for listening to me up to this point, and I'll see you guys in the next video.